Hello again, I'm Robert Fithen, and tonight I want to talk about this. This is the debut album from the duo called Astral Yacht, and if you're not familiar with what this is the album that was put out by Psychederek from the vinyl community. So if you know who he is, this is pretty much his project. It's him and another guy. And before I start talking about the album and start getting into reviewing it and discussing it and all of that, just a little bit of a forward here so you know what you're getting into. If you've seen my channel and me talking on my channel, and I've been doing this for years now on YouTube, you probably have figured out I'm not the kind of person that will shit all over somebody else on YouTube. That's not who I am. Certainly I say all kinds of negative things about Steely Dan and Van Morrison and all of that. But as far as other YouTubers go, I don't do that. I don't start, I don't trash people. I don't try to start wars and feuds and beefs and all that kind of stuff. I'm not some fake person that's pretending to have a beef or have something against somebody else on YouTube, and then they're in it with me and we're fighting, but really behind the scenes we're best friends and we're just really trying to promote each other's channels and it's all fake and phony. That is not who I am at all. As a matter of fact, when somebody else in the vinyl community has done something that they're trying to put out there and they've put some hard work into something, I am all about picking it up and talking about it and reviewing it and help promoting it. I did that with James Griffith's book about the band Squeeze. And I read that book and I thought it was really well done. And if I got the book and I didn't think it was well done and I thought it was, poorly written or whatever, I wouldn't have said anything about it. I just wouldn't have reviewed it. And so you can kind of already tell where this review is going. If this turned out to be a joke, I would have just got it, listened to it, and went, "Oh, that's a joke," and you would have never heard anything about it. But the fact that I'm actually making a video about it, you can pretty much tell where this is going. This is going to be a pretty positive review of this, and certainly it is. So let's get right to it. This is, he's got his real name on here, so I'm assuming he doesn't care if I use his real name. It's Derek Fisher and another guy named Jacob Pavlik. I don't know how to pronounce it. But yeah, so it's just these two guys. And this is, independently produced, low budget, kind of a private press kind of passion project, really. And if you know who Psychederek is and you watch his YouTube channel, you know he's all into the psychedelic music of the late 60s, early 70s. He occasionally will talk about some other types of music too, but mostly the meat of the channel is the great psych stuff, garage rock and all of that. Private presses every once in a while. It gets a little bit into the folky stuff, but it's all that same realm, late 60s, early 70s, that kind of thing. And so that's what this type of music is. It nails it pretty much. I mean, it doesn't come off as reductive though. He's definitely got his own thing going on here. And the very first song on here, when you put the stylus on, it's called Follow the Constellation. And there's no sort of intro warm up, fly like an eagle space intro, that kind of thing where it's going to make a few tones and it's going to build and it's going to build and it's going to take off. No, this right away, bam, you're into it. It's got this really nice bass groove that goes on. And then it's got this nice melody that you can instantly pick up on. Very accessible for the very first track. This is not way out kind of stuff that people are going to turn this on and go, what is that? Like a lot of noise or a lot of ethereal kind of soundscapes. This is music with melodies, and some of it's really accessible, like the very first track, Follow the Constellation. So that comes on, nice groove to that. It's got these guitar stabs, which are probably some of the most severe, like jagged knife guitar stabs I think I've ever heard. And then like a third of the way through the song, it instantaneously just jumps right into like flute rock. Or is that an oboe? Or maybe it's a recorder. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's wonderful. It's an instrumental, 4 minutes long, perfect length, does not overstay its welcome. We're not talking about Yes here with some progressive rock album side thing. I put that, because this has been on Bandcamp apparently for a while, and there's been tracks uploaded, and but I'm not into Bandcamp, so I had not heard any of this. The only thing I ever heard from Psychederek, and this was a long time ago, was he did a cover version of the West Coast pop experimental pop art group, whatever. I Won't Hurt You. Yes. Yeah, I do still remember that. This does not sound like that. So yeah, this is yeah, so that's an instrumental. So track 2 is called Dreamer. The vocals come on in this, and it's all about, you stand on the mountain. Is that the one where he's standing tall on the mountain, or is that a different one? Anyway, he's talking about dreams coming true. And because, it's got vocals. I'm not sure if it's him, though. It's 2 guys on here, like I said, and I'm not sure who's doing what, because they're both credited with vocals. They're both credited with guitars. He's got the Jacob guy's got the 12-string guitar, so that's an acoustic thing. So, but check this out. Like, Derek's got like the vocals, keyboards, lead guitar, rhythm guitar, bass guitar, drums, percussion. Oh, it is a recorder. Okay. Chimes, strings, oscillators, pedal effects, mixing. I don't know if we needed to put pedal effects in there. That kind of goes with guitars. But, I mean, this is like Prince, in 1978. Just one guy doing it all. Well, okay, 2 guys doing it all. And then the Jacob guy's got the vocals, 12-string guitar, keyboards, bells, and sampler. So this sounds like a full band. Magic, man. So yeah, Dreamer is talking about dreams coming true. And it's like, I'm just assuming that this whole album is like a dream that comes true. I mean, amazing that somebody can put out a record like this. Just incredible. Creation is after that. That's kind of more like a little 2-minute interlude. It's a little more in the dream pop kind of landscape there. It's more of what the young people would call shoegaze. So there's different styles on here. There's a song on the inside one called Short Circuit Mind that's full-on garage rock with the fuzz guitar. Somebody has found the flange effect, so they're doing that. That thing. Phasing, that whole deal. But yeah, Short Circuit Mind is full-on garage rock. Great fuzz guitar work in that. Vocals that I cannot understand a word of. Really good vocals in Concentrated Skies. That's a great track. I mean, some of this stuff could stand up next to any Psych classics. This is not like I've got to keep in mind that this is a low budget recording, and this is somebody's first go at this. So I'm going to be not. I don't have to do that. There's stuff on here that will stand up to full on professionally produced in the height of psychedelic music tracks. Concentrated Skies is one of those, and great vocals. The vocals on that do not sound like the vocal on Dreamer. Those sound like 2 different people. So I'm assuming these guys, I don't know if this is like a Lennon-McCartney type situation where, some of the songs are one guy's baby and he's doing like 90% of what's going on, and then another track is maybe the other guy's, he's doing 90% of what's going on, and then sometimes they share, 50-50. But I'm assuming there's 2 different vocalists here, because Dreamer the vocals doesn't sound like Concentrated Skies. I definitely prefer the Concentrated Skies vocal, though. I probably shouldn't have said that because I don't know what guy's doing what. They're both great. How's that? And like I was saying, there are some different flavors all falling into the psychedelic spectrum on this album. And there is definitely a feel, too, of that early 70s German progressive rock movement on here. The Krautrock, as I've learned that from Germans that it is okay to use that term, Kraut meaning weed, not referring as a derogatory thing about Germans. But anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of that, which I absolutely love. If you've seen videos on my channel, I'm always talking about the German progressive rock and psych rock from the early 70s, and there's some of that on here. But again, it's not reductive. It's definitely got its own thing going on. There's a really nice use of keyboards too in Concentrated Skies, and a lot of this. But that one, I think it stood out because it's not like keyboards being the main part. They are providing like an atmosphere underscored, and it works really, really well. It helps to kind of fill out some things without actually taking over and being in the forefront. So great use of the keyboards on Concentrated Skies. That goes right into Galactic Remedy, which is another kind of interlude. I can't really tell where the one ends and the next one that begins. And then, of course, like I said, you got Short Circuit Mind after that one with some nice woo out of nowhere. Just woo! You know, the guys are having fun. You know, it's a garage rock song. Woo! Short Circuit Mind. So as awesome as side one is, and it's pretty great, I think I actually like side two even more. It starts off with Deserted Route, or Route, depending on what part of the country you're in, which is really atmospheric. This is available to stream as well, which I got the album and put it on because I didn't want to hear anything until I actually got the record and played it. And so after I did that, then I found out you could stream this, and then I streamed it while driving at night. That's a mind blower, especially tracks like Deserted Route. Great atmosphere on that one. Just a lot of things going on. You know, it has all the checking off all the boxes with the psychedelic stuff, like I was saying earlier. And this does check off a lot of the boxes if you're into the psych stuff. I think I was talking about, you know, the backwards guitar and the phasing and the panning and you know, all the effects on the vocals and all that stuff that you want. But none of it sounds contrived. It doesn't sound like they're trying to say, well, we're going for psychedelic, so we got to make sure we do this cliche or that cliche or this thing. It doesn't sound like that at all. It sounds pretty cool. It really sets up a mood. It does, you know, I mean, the cover art here is kind of the opposite of the back. In fact, there's no color that has anything in common with the front. So I love the two different kind of feels of the back cover and the front cover. You've got this icy sort of snowy mountain thing going up into this red kind of Borealis sort of sky there, and then you know the cold wetness of the mountains here with the snow, and then this dry desert under it. It's these three completely different types of atmospheres here just going together, and then this one is just full on purple, you know, psychedelic stuff here. It's great. Colors you've never seen. Gee, I wonder what that's about. Well, you actually don't have to wonder what that's about, because the very first line is, last night I took a trip on LSD and seen colors you'd never see. So, you know, I've watched Psychederek's channel for a few years now, and I've always wondered that. And so now I have my answer to that. Yeah, I thought so. I took acid 3 times in the 90s. I should do a video about that. I didn't really see colors that I've never seen. I just saw heightened colors. I saw versions of colors that have never been replicated. Last time I did that, it was a July 4th, which may not mean much to you if you're not in the United States, but if you are in the United States, or you know what July 4th is to the United States, imagine being on LSD while that's going on. Oh yeah, and you're a part of a radio promotion that's setting off fireworks. Anyway, yeah, I should do a video on that. I digress. Radio Yacht is after that. That's another one of those little interludes, you know, a minute and a half long. It's basically just this guitar feedback kind of thing. You know, they got to do that, you know, have some fun and just have a track where they just blast out some guitar noise and whatever. However, it does have a DJ starting out as you're listening to Yacht Radio or whatever. And if you're going to make a follow-up album and you ever need the voice of a DJ, look me up, get in touch. I can do all sorts. I can do, you know, midnight jazz DJ. I can do pukey top 40 radio DJ. I can do modern rock throaty DJ. I can do cool, laid back, too cool for the room, classic rock DJ. Whatever kind of DJ voice you need, I'm here for you. Derek and Jacob. Chapel after that, another great, I mean, these are, I keep saying great atmospheric track, but they all are. The last one is called Misty Hollow. So I think my favorite tracks on here are the ones that begin and end each side. Like Follow the Constellation is just a absolutely fantastic way to start this album. And then Short Circuit Mind is the fun garage rock with the woo, in it with the fuzz guitar and all that, upbeat. You can dance around to that. Deserted Route is just, and the colors you've never seen. That's a 1-2 punch on side 2 that's just perfect for driving at night or doing whatever. And then Misty Hollow, you get the 8-minute track. There's no drum solo on here. That's the only thing that's missing, but I don't think anybody's actually missing a drum solo, but yeah. So Misty Hollow is finishing it off, 8 minutes long, and man, that is another highlight in a record full of highlights. It has once it gets going, man, it just has this, oh, how do I put this? It sounds somewhat sensual, like you could really groove to that, get into a groove with that, all the way up in a groove with that. In fact, if I ever found myself back in the adult entertainment industry, I would consider using parts of Misty Hollow as a nice soundtrack there. It was the 90s. We all have our life journeys that take us into different places. And yeah, so, but anyway, I don't think well, who knows? Yeah, that's a good one. But yeah, the vocals on here, they do have a lot of effects on them. I don't think they sound like Psychederek. I don't know I guess the other guy is probably singing a lot of that. Maybe not, I don't know. The Dreamer song doesn't have the same vocal style as the other ones. So maybe Dreamer is Derek and the other guy's singing the other one. I don't know. There's not a lot of information about who's doing what on here. And there's not a lyric sheet. There is this insert. I don't want to forget to show this. You do get an insert here with some, with a photo there. These guys look like they're the same guy. They look like brothers. I wonder if they're related. Like, when I first saw this, I thought no, that's him. They look alike. That is 2 different guys, right? Okay. And then, this, I mean, come on. What is this? Really? Okay. All right. Reel it in a little bit there. Come on now. Yeah, they look like... That looks like the same guy. Is this a real dude, or is this just, like, Derek and his alter ego? That looks like the same guy. I don't know. But, it's on black vinyl. So maybe one day there will be a nice swirl color variant. Nice label on here. Professionally done. Man, he's talking about in that Dreamer song, like dreams coming true or whatever. This has got to be like a dream come true, man. Can you imagine? You've been a big music fan or whatever, and then you just say to hell with it and make your own fucking album. That is just, I mean, commendable is just a generic way to put it. But I mean, to say the least, put it out there and get it done. And I mean, a lot of people do the talking, but don't do the walking, I've often thought of trying to do something like this, but I don't have, what's the word? The talent to do something like this. First of all, I don't have the dexterity to play guitar the way it needs to be played if you're going to put out an actual record. My main problem is that I'm left-handed, and when I was a little kid, my father used to slap use that right hand! And so now I have no dexterity. I can play chords, but there's no way I can do like any kind of like note type of, and I certainly can't do any, there's no shredding on here, but I can't do anything above chords, basic chord playing and whatever. I can play drums, but it's been so long that I'm so rusty on that would take several months of getting back into that. I can play clarinet, but same old story. Haven't done that since high school. But man, I mean, when I was in my 20s, I was on a morning show and I produced and wrote a lot of the songs that were on our CDs that went out. Still top selling CDs in Springfield, Illinois, by the way. So I kind of get what it's like to have something come out, even though it was a CD in the CD era in the 90s. But I still remember that feeling of having that. It's, oh my God, it's got my picture on it. My name is on it. My songs are on this. And everybody's, and people were in line, like wanting our autographs and stuff. We would have these CD signing parties and everybody would be in line and I'd be signing CDs and oh my God, I love that one song. I love that. Oh my God, thank you. And I produced it, and I wrote the songs. I'm singing some of the songs on there. Now, it's comedy. It's not a serious thing like this, but but yeah, I remember what that was like, but I'm sure nothing like this, nothing like just putting it out. Just wow, just doing it and having it look and sound so good. That's the thing too. When you watch somebody on YouTube videos, and you can watch somebody for years, and if they've got a particular subject, like they're always talking about records or they're always talking about music, you don't know what else their life is like. You don't know what other things they're into or what other talents they might have or whatever. This says, I thought it said on here somewhere. Does it say on here who produced this? Whoever produced this, it says that Ethan McCorkle Deekson is mixing, editing, and the mastering engineer, but I don't think that's necessarily a producer. Whoever produced this that knew what they were doing, has had some sort of production training. I refuse to believe that whoever produced these is just a music fan that just listened to a bunch of music for decades and then just decided to produce an album. Somebody here has got some serious chops when it comes to production and has had some production training or education or something like that. Because there's little things in here that I'm picking up on when I'm listening to this going, yeah, okay. I get what you're doing there. Every little, like the percussion, for instance, the percussion, because I that's my thing, is I'm an audio producer. I was for years. Producing like promotional audio and commercials and things like that, and songs to a degree, like parody stuff and funny stuff and whatever, but audio production. And so I understand some of the little tricks and some of the little things to fill things out and whatever, and that this has it. And percussion, like little things like using shakers, because you know that your percussion on this is kind of buried. It's kind of part of this mix of this flowing kind of groove thing going on. It doesn't have like popping big earthy sounding drums with drum pickups and cymbal crashes and whatever. So it's layered under the sound. So in order to make it crisp and make it a little more dynamic, there's shakers in this. And somebody's thinking of that, and there's other things too that just makes things a little more filled out, and it's like, oh, there's a frequency there. Let's put this in that frequency so we got this nice layered thing. Somebody is got some production training, whoever did this. So this is a fantastic sounding album. And it's not only just like, well, it's a fantastic album considering it's an independent release, considering it's low budget. There's no consideration. This is a fantastic album, period. Astral Yacht. It's better than Astral Taxi from Tintin. I'll say that. I prefer it to Astral. I prefer an Astral Yacht to an Astral Taxi. I'll tell you what, it's hell of a lot better than Astral Weeks. That's for damn sure. Why do I still have this? This is terrible. Okay, I guess I'm not really setting the bar very high there by saying it's better than a terrible album. Is it better than Pink Floyd? Yes! It's better than Adam Hart Mother. Obviously, it goes without saying it's better than A Momentary Lapse of Reason or The Division Bell, for God's sakes. It's better than the soundtrack from the film More. So yeah, it's better than Pink Floyd. Astral Yacht. There's people on YouTube that want to sell you T-shirts and Patreon memberships where they don't even do anything, but if you sign up for my Patreon, I'll give you an emoji that you can comment. You can message me and I'll talk to you personally if you sign up for my Patreon. If you want to support somebody in the vinyl community, here's an idea. Buy an album that's an actual album that somebody put out. And don't buy it because you feel like it's your duty as a member of the vinyl community. Buy it because it's a fantastic album. So yeah, there you have it. I think I've, I could go on and get more granular about the little tiny things going on in this, but I think you just hear it for yourself. You can get this on Discogs. I think you can get it on Bandcamp too. I'm not familiar with the Bandcamp thing. But yeah. Astral Yacht. Yeah, I would really be interested in seeing if Mr. Psychederek wants to put out a really informative video about, like, the birth of this, like, from day one, and just explain how this came about. I mean, maybe that would take away some of the magic, though, if this was all explained. Maybe not. I don't know. But it would be interesting to hear how, and maybe not give away the tricks and the secrets of the mixing and all that, but at least, how the album, the process of that you go through to get an album released. If it's your own, like passion project and it's just you and a couple of friends or whatever doing this, and how do you get from point A, okay, we're doing the songs, we're recording the songs, we're layering the tracks, we got the stems here, we're mixing it and all that, we're recording the drum, okay, I'm going to record the bass over that. Going from that to, okay, I've got a record in my hand with an album cover and an insert that looks like that. Two guys that look like identical twins in the middle. It's seriously, is this the same dude? That's the same dude, man. This Derek guy's messing with us. There's no Jacob. Anyway, Astral Yacht. I don't know why they're called that, but that's what we're going with. I just want to mention too. I should have mentioned this right up front. I paid for this. I bought this. I'm not indebted at all to give this a great review. I'm not trying to sell anything here. I'm not doing a promotion on this. I just really think this is great. And I think when somebody does something great and they're seemingly a cool person, they deserve at least what little recognition that I can give them and pass them along. Maybe a couple more albums will sell, hopefully, since I made this video. But I am in no way indebted. I did not get this for free. I'm not part of some promotion. Same thing with the James Griffiths book about Squeeze. I was not indebted to, I bought this like anybody else would buy this. Dude could have signed it somewhere, but he did not. But yeah, so Astral Yacht on Funk Night Records, number 274. Great album. Great to see a dream come true like that. If you're into independent, low budget, passion projects, it really doesn't get much better than that one. So yeah, I'm Robert Fitton. Thank you so much for watching. Please check out Psychederek's channel, and maybe you'll get more acquainted and want to purchase the album. Yeah, maybe you'll do that. And hopefully I will talk to you again soon, and we'll be back in 1983 as that deep dive continues.